Mommy! I don't know, but I can't do it with Aiden.
We're trying to find something.
Good evening. What have I seen you?
So, can he come preach at the church? Absolutely. He and I talked at lunch, and he's ready. He's excited. He's ready to go. I asked if he's nervous. He said no. That's good. So excited to have him come for you tonight. It's his first time up preaching, and it's a special moment for him and his family. I remember mine. I'm sure Randall remembers his. Joshua remembers his. And something you'll never forget. Y'all be good to him tonight. Pray for him. Get ready to hear a word from the Lord. All right? Come on, Brandon. Brandon Crafton.
Praise Jesus. These two words are the words that a very good friend of mine said to me about 4 weeks ago. And I guess I looked somewhat dumbfounded because he went on to explain the meaning behind the words. He said, Homer Simpson off The Simpsons decided he and his family were to go to church that Sunday. They got there about 30 minutes late. Everybody was already in, and he walked down the aisle and he told everybody, praise Jesus. He didn't know the name of Jesus. How many Homer Simpsons are out there today? How many do you come in contact every day with? How many do you sit by every day at school? How many are on your phone? How many are you friends with on Facebook? How many do you go to work with every day? And how many of those have you said anything related to God? Most likely none.
Ow!
Why don't we say something? It doesn't take much. Why don't we just say something? If we think we're going to be judged, well, we are going to be judged. We are. That's a fact. And the people who are going to be judging you are going to be Homer Simpsons. It doesn't matter what they think. Do we think we're going to say something wrong? Is that it? That was my excuse for a long time. That's what I told God when He wanted me to say something to so-and-so over in the corner. But one day, I just opened my Bible up, I had my eyes closed, I put my finger on the verse and I read it. And the verse was Matthew 10, verse 20. And it went like this. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. That's pretty black and white. Can't really explain it. It just says it right there. So there goes that excuse for me. And then I thought, maybe we're just lazy. Maybe we do not want to say anything to so-and-so. Maybe that's it. You know, all we have to do is just attempt something. You'd be surprised of why and how just a little bit, just a little saying will go a long way. You don't got to leave it in Christ the first time you talk to him. It's like, you know, there's this big old bass over in this corner of the pond. You throw your line out there, and there's also a bunch of other small fish. They keep on taking your bait, and you just never seem to get that big fish. You keep on throwing out there. Eventually, you're going to hook them. When you hook them, you bring them in. You just got to get these fish. Now, I broke three types of people down into three main groups. And my first group is the nerds, the people who think they know everything. They think they're too good for God. They think, well, there's no God. Look at man's science. Man's science says there's no way that in the time that it would take someone to say a couple words that the universe could have been created. But know what man's science did say not too long ago? It said that the entire universe had been created in the time that it took, save the sinners. It said that. You know what verse you say to them? You say Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the hidden home. The second type of people, the so-called bad person. The person who you don't want your kids to hang around with. The person who, if they were to sit by you at lunch, you would get up and say, oh, I got to go to the bathroom and not come back. People you don't exactly seek out to talk to. That kind of person. The person whom we look at, they're in black, they have cuts on their wrist or something of the sort. We just don't look at them as a good Christian person. But why is that? Has anybody ever stopped to ponder why do they have those cuts on their wrist? Why do they seem to get into, well, what we shouldn't exactly get into? Just why? That's because they're like a bottle of water. You drink about half of it, it's not full anymore. You want to put some more water in there before you go outside so you don't have to come back in. That's what they're like. They know there's a vast emptiness in them, and they try to fill that with the wrong things, not God. They try to fill it with drugs, violence, just stuff they shouldn't try to fill it with. And all it takes is just, hey, why don't you come to church with me this Sunday? Well, pick it up. That's all it takes, just to get them to realize that's not what I need to be filling my life with. The difference in you and I, and those kids in black that we title as bad kids, the main difference, and really the only difference is we had somebody there to say, I know what goes in that emptiness. That's the only difference. If we hadn't had somebody say, God goes in there, where would we be? Just where? Think about it. And the third type is the goody two-shoes. The kid that never seems to do anything wrong, never seems to get caught. The kid, well, the kid you're going to sit behind that class. Oh, I forgot to read the verse for the bad kid. It's 1 John 1:9. It says, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us of our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. What that means is, if I admit my sins to God, then I am clean. And then, what is the difference in that kid in black and you? What's the difference then? There is none. And as I said, the third type, the goody two-shoes. Well, that's what they are. They're a goody two-shoes. They're the kid you sit behind in math class. And the verse for them is Matthew 18, verse 3. And it reads, and say, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted, and become as little children, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. What that verse means is it doesn't matter what you do. You can be the best person in the world. You can sin just once, and you're still going to hell. If Jesus had sinned just once, He would not have been the perfect sacrifice, but He never sinned. Therefore, He is the perfect sacrifice for our sins. And I have a question. You really need to just ponder. Are you a Homer Simpson? Are your parents a Homer Simpson? What about your siblings? Think about it. Do you know what I mean when I say you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ? Do you? If you don't, talk to Coach Simmons. Me, It's not that hard to lead someone to Christ. And just remember, it doesn't take much to get someone to come to church. You just tell them. Just tell them what it is. And you don't got to read those exact verses to them. You know that person, you'll know what verse is good for them. God will lay it upon your heart what verse to read to them and what to say. Just as Matthew 10:20 said, it's not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Is that all?
Amen. Amen.
Jack, get you something and come on up here. If you want somebody to sing, that's fine. With your throat, that's fine. But I don't want to leave here without letting the Lord give an opportunity for an invitation. A crowd this size, there may be a Homer Simpson in here. There may be somebody in here that may have heard about Jesus, but don't know him. And I wish, and I know the Lord's wish, is that all would know him and be able to call upon him. And I don't know where you are in your walk with him tonight. I don't know if you're somebody who slipped in here tonight as a visitor. Maybe you come to just hear somebody for the first time preach, or come with some of these others that watch kids perform and different things like that. But I believe God brought you here for another reason. That if you're here and within the sound of my voice and you don't know Christ as your personal Savior, you have the opportunity tonight. We're not going to walk out this door without there being an opportunity given. The Lord would have it that all would know him and the fellowship of his suffering. So if it be you tonight that you don't know who he is, maybe you've heard about him, maybe you heard us sing songs about him tonight, maybe you even sung some of those songs yourself, but you don't know him as your Lord and Savior. You'll have that opportunity in just a moment. Maybe you walked it, been one of those that had been with him and went through some things and some hard times have hit you and you turned and walked away. Maybe it's time to walk back to him. Maybe it's time to walk back towards him and put yourself, like we talked about this morning, away from the multitude and into position. Maybe it's that time again. Do you know the Lord? Do you know him as your Lord and Savior? Do you know him as your Savior and King tonight? If you were to walk out that door, and I hate doing this, but it's just absolute fact. There's a lady this morning, we were talking before church, that was just found dead in her home. But knew the Lord. So important that before you go to bed at night, you know who he is. It's so important before you walk out that door tonight, you know who he is, that he is your Savior. Amen. Do you know him? If you were to go to eternity, where would you go? Where would you go? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for Brandon and